It's almost like we're professional or something, but
My
we're not. We're
God,
not professional at all.
it's weird.
Crazy how we get countdown when I'm recording it. Oh my gosh, it feels so weird hearing my own voice. So I'm going to take off the headphones right now.
Will you be able to hear us?
I can. Ugh.
Okay, so we have a bit of a recording situation at the moment. At the worst possible time, I literally cannot believe that I screwed up. I screwed up me, by the way, just to make it clear to everybody. I mean, I'm the recording guy, so it had to be me. But yeah, uh, that I screwed up at this very important moment, and
It's
I feel super
fine.
bad about it.
Just makes it memorable.
Oh. Mm, mhm, mm.
Yeah, so I'm the
So
one recording right now.
Yeah.
yeah, Casey did a really stupid thing. He unplugged his microphone cable from his microphone, and now the microphone cable is probably still extant somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure where.
Yeah.
So we've very quickly had to run Zero through the recording process and how to get all that set up so it records everyone. Uh, uh,
Yep. Works fine.
mhm. I'm looking
Just
forward to the part
getting.
where we have to talk through the export process as well.
It'll be
I
fine.
don't remember that being that difficult.
Yeah, you just hit the button.
Uh, I believe that exporting to MP3 requires a proper
It
BIOS file or
required
something as well.
getting Laming installed, but that was in an older version. And also, if my voice lags at times, it's because I put my headphones on and I'm hearing myself talk, and it's driving me nuts.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ah.
I
By
didn't
the
even.
way,
I had forgotten that you had to listen to yourself the whole time.
oh yeah, yeah. It's an interesting experience both to have and to get used to. Eventually, it took a
Mm.
while, but I got there. Yeah.
Did you become to hate your voice more or less?
I just stopped noticing it after a while.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, let's remember, I record these and I do whatever little editing is required, which usually means just hitting the export button, hitting the upload button, and remembering I need to find an episode title for these. So
Mm.
usually just seeking around the episode until I find one that works.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm pretty used to hearing my own voice. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
The slight delay on it, because it's going from your microphone to circle back into your headphones, is what screws everyone up when they do it.
Mm.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. So yeah, we're here.
Yep. We are here.
hmm Okay. Do we want to do this at the top or at the end? Do you think?
May as well at the top. My schedule is too full to continue recording, unfortunately, so this will be my last episode. Been doing it for a long time and I've had a blast doing it, but I gotta give it up for things that will get me healthier
Yeah.
in the sense of I'm going to be doing armored combat on Saturdays or Sundays, so that'll be fun. Getting hit people
Which
with
is
like blunted metal weapons and armor.
yeah, it's very cool. We will be sad, but you know that you got to do what you got to do, and that's very understandable. And it's been a lot of fun doing this for. Let's not think about the time frame. Let's not think about it. Yeah.
Been a
You
bit.
will be missed.
Well,
Yes.
thank you.
And of course, whenever your schedule clears up, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Probably not going to be busy every Sunday, so I can definitely hit you guys up if I'm free. I don't know how often that's going to be, but I'll definitely give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll see how it works out.
So yeah, how's everybody's week been?
Oh, busy.
See, now it feels awkward, and that's why I was asking whether to do it at the top or the bottom. It was like,
All right,
yeah,
so
so
I need to,
I'm gonna
yeah.
stop being on the podcast. So I'm just gonna. How's things been for the past week? By the way, guys, cool.
Good.
I need to yap.
Okay.
First of all,
Mm.
the Nintendo Switch's sequel has been announced.
It
in
is a biggest.
what I would call the most fine, take it announcement ever.
No, I mean they were probably gonna announce it just like this anyway. Like it's very Nintendo marketing of just, hey, here's the thing. They've done that quite a few times.
Here's
I
the
respect
thing,
it.
come back later in April, and you can definitely get more information on the new Mario Kart that we just showed that has 24 racers.
Oh,
Yeah. Also the Joy-Cons concern me.
what are they different in some horrible way?
For the original Switch, they had a system where they would slide down and lock in with the click that they like to do. It's very
Mhm.
marketing,
Oh yeah,
pro-marketing
that was like
thing.
their main marketing thing.
Yeah, now they slot in sideways, so they just slot into the machine, which feels like a design choice that is not particularly conducive to, let's say, moments of gamer enthusiasm.
They
Yeah,
are
that.
magnetic,
Hmm.
so they should lock in pretty nicely, but we'll see how it works.
I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully them locking in means that they can pop out without any damage. So here's hoping.
Hmm.
We'll see. Bigger screen, bigger Joy-Cons, more powerful hardware. I mean, you just put a 2 right next to the Switch and boom, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Just put
and
a two there and upgrade everything.
it's still not going to be like current gen stuff. But again, who cares?
Yeah, that's fine.
It doesn't need to be.
I have a PS4 in my room and it's perfectly serviceable. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like that's the fun thing. You have a PS4 in your room. That is also not current gen. Like, who
Yeah,
cares?
exactly.
And according to current projections by the technology that's going around right now, it's probably going to be about PS4 strength. So you'll have a PS4 in your pocket.
Yeah,
Eh,
pretty kick
which is
ass.
about the same horsepower as a Steam Deck. I
Yeah.
understand. So you know that's probably gotten some people in Nintendo sweating a little bit. Is the whole Steam Deck thing? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know if it's actually
competition
getting more
stirs
popular, if
innovation.
it's just I don't know if it's actually popular or just like exposure bias or something, but it feels like the Steam Deck is getting more eyes on it. I feel like I see more posts about Steam Decks.
Um,
my stepdad had a Steam Deck.
Oh, cool.
Like he got one for the Christmas before he passed. So yeah.
Fair enough.
to be exact,
Oh,
the Nintendo Switch everywhere, but the Steam Deck is what a lot more internet savvy people are going to talk about.
Hmm.
yeah, that's probably a big hazard of this particular thing is that anytime someone brings up the Switch 2 now, someone is also going to bring up the Steam Deck every single time.
They are
So
very similar.
while trying to sell this thing, they are also going to be giving a whole shed load of free marketing to the Steam Deck just by the nature of the comparison.
Hmm.
And the Steam Deck was, getting a lot of uh, traction anyway. This is only going to make that worse and a bigger problem for Nintendo because they've stolen the exact unique selling point.
Yeah, I mean, if you catch if I don't know, if you see like a Switch 2 commercial or an ad or something and suddenly realize, oh, I could use something like that, you're gonna look at your options because why would you not? And they're
Yep,
gonna find the Steam Deck.
Nintendo is for probably the first time in since the Wii U. I would say the Wii U is probably the last good example. Nintendo are kind of banking on it's Nintendo.
Now, to be fair, Nintendo Switch had like in excess of 151 million units, which is a gigantic amount, even previous consoles that they've sold.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's kind of what I mean though. Is like the Nintendo Switch did incredible because one, because it's Nintendo. Two, because it was actually a pretty impressive bit of tech in that it was a home console that could also be a portable console and worked pretty damn well in both modes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But now there's the Steam Deck that is a handheld console that, you know, carries your entire PC library with you wherever you go.
and can play all of them well.
Most of them, but yes.
Yeah. No, the
A
Steam Deck
vast
enables
majority
games,
of
but
them,
there's
yes.
the list of games that it can. Yes,
How much does Steam Deck? My brain. Steam Deck go for?
Probably
two
a fair bit.
50, I think.
Steam Deck. Ooh, that is a price tag. I don't know whether that is a genuine price tag or just a fucking Amazon bullshit price tag. But Steam Deck. Da, da, da. You can get one for £350, so that's probably about $450.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Uh, from what I just found, I saw the Steam Deck LCD for $399, the OLED for $549,
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
and the Switch 2 is coming in at a $400 price point.
Really banking on the it's Nintendo
Yeah.
We'll see.
because again, that is a brand new machine in comparison to the thing that plays all of your Steam games, of which you probably have hundreds over the past 10 years. Well, that's, us old people considerations. That's not how the youngins would see it, obviously. But
Nintendo still has the whole exclusive thing of you're just going to buy the Nintendo console because that's where you play the Nintendo games, and the majority of people who play Nintendo games are going to buy the Nintendo console or Nintendo game.
Because
Yeah.
Nintendo is most of what they play, if not all.
Oh, didn't. There is the diehard Nintendo fan base, but that is, I feel like that's not as big as people like to think.
No, it's probably
It's
not something you could
less
purely market on.
it's less the diehards and more the casuals.
Yes.
The casuals buy a PlayStation or an Xbox and play FIFA or Call of Duty.
Not
I suppose it
like
depends on what
that's
kind
one
of
group of casuals, but you're forgetting about the biggest market, children.
I think that may be not as true as it used to be 20 years ago.
It kind of depends, I guess. I mean, with, I don't know, devices and tablets and other consoles, like, if you want a handheld, you're probably just going to get.
Like, the thing is, yeah, that has always been the common wisdom of kids are the biggest gamers. You know what kids are playing nowadays? Fortnite. They don't give as much of a
Guess
shit
what they're
about
playing
Nintendo.
Fortnite on?
Is that on Switch?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I would also say, guess what they're playing Fortnite on? Their fucking phones.
I'm actually curious how popular Fortnite Mobile is.
Very.
Yeah,
The answer is very.
that I would definitely believe.
The answer is big enough for Epic to go to war with Apple and Google at the same time. Very.
Ah, yeah, okay, that's barely telling. Kind of
As
forgot about all that lawsuit stuff.
as a teacher who works with children, who just went on a field trip, one of the big questions, hearing my own voice, one of the big questions was, can I bring my Switch?
Was
That's
the
fair
answer
enough.
yes?
No.
Oh,
Oh, poor kids.
I mean, they
Gotta
should really
check out
be paying
nature
attention.
and stuff.
Like the main two things they're playing is Roblox and Fortnite.
I am genuinely shocked Roblox still has any attention. Like, that
Yeah.
is ancient by modern standards.
Roblox is a weird one.
Yeah, because it's so niche. It's got so many different things you can use it for.
That's why it's not niche. That's literally why it's not niche.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I had that
it's a
backwards.
million things. It's literally anything, but it's also not profitable because it's literally anything, and you can't really do anything to monetize it.
Yeah. Didn't they have
Yeah,
like a partner program there for a while? So like if you made a bunch of games through Roblox, you could get.
They tried. I don't really think it was that successful, or at least it wasn't enough to make money.
Also, you're essentially employing children, so yeah, gray area.
But yeah, that's a fair point about the field trip thing. Can I take my Switch?
Yeah.
Fuck nature. I want to play Smash.
It's anecdotal, but it's fair. Like in that sense, you're not going to get kids with the Steam Deck. That's probably not a winning proposition because one of the things that you can't play on the Steam Deck is is the Fortnite. That's just not a thing.
Oh yeah, I guess that's that's a different company, so they wouldn't have that game on there.
Yep. To my knowledge, anyway. You might be able to bootleg it. I'm not entirely sure.
Possibly.
I mean, the Steam Deck is just a small PC with the Steam OS dumped on
I
top
feel
of
like
it.
the
So
Steam Deck was very popular, like young adult, but
that's the thing. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. Is like, yeah, kids are a market and they're a big market, but they are not the only market like they used to be 20, 30 years ago. Like nobody really gave a shit about the adult market in the 90s, let's say. That there was a crowd for it, but it was a very enthusiast crowd that didn't sell very well. The games didn't do especially well. To the point where Fallout like selling hundreds of thousands of copies was really, really impressive. That market now has grown exponentially because all of those kids grew up with video games, and then it became trendy to like video games.
True.
So for those people, the Steam Deck is the thing, and now Nintendo is going to have a hard time selling to them beyond nostalgia and it's Nintendo.
I doubt that.
I don't. I mean, I said it obviously, so of course I don't.
And the reason why I doubt that again is not only is the Nintendo Switch original one of the most best-selling consoles of all time. Literally, the only thing it's behind is the PS2, and barely. The main reason why it's people are really excited for it is because they want something that solves the problems of the original Switch, and they want to play them there. Now, you can, like, with a Steam Deck or with ROMs and stuff, get Nintendo games onto other things, but the crowd of people that do that is much smaller than the amount of people buying consoles.
That is an interesting point and puts a lot of things into perspective for what Nintendo's been doing for the past few years. Like, say, for example, putting that one dude into a lifetime of debt slavery to the tune of millions of dollars. Like, they really wanted emulation gone, and still do.
Keeps their supremacy.
Which makes sense if their only unique selling point is being able to play Nintendo games only on Nintendo consoles, because someone else is already doing all the other things that they're doing.
Yeah, exclusivity is unfortunately not a thing that's gone away entirely.
Like, even if the Switch 2 sells half as well as the original, it'll still be a huge.
Yeah, probably.
I am tempted to get a Steam Deck, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it wasn't so expensive, I'd be down to get one, but
that's kind of what I've been saying for this. Like, yeah, Nintendo is Nintendo, and Nintendo fans are going to Nintendo, and that's great. But it's not unique anymore, and there are other options that have way bigger libraries, and Nintendo is kind of just banking on inertia on this one in particular. Because, it's the new Nintendo thing. It plays the old Nintendo games from Switch. That's still there. Backwards compatible.
I was told it wasn't backwards compatible.
It is backwards compatible.
Oh, good. Okay.
For everything but a few select games to be talked about later, I assume that is going to be the stuff that required alternate hardware and stuff like the weird...
Like Labo.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
I forgot about that. Man, that was a time.
Yeah. So... most things are probably going to play perfectly fine. A vast majority.
If not better.
Yeah. Because that, again, like you said, that's the point of this machine is basically, hey, the last machine sucks, we know. We're doing a better one.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to make Bayonetta 3 a good game, but that's.
I mean, was Bayonetta... was the problem with that game that it didn't run well?
It was one of the problems with that game, yes.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Then maybe. I mean, it's worth replaying on the Switch 2. If you get one, it might be more enjoyable now that that it can function as a game, or it'll just highlight the other aspects that are not good.
Yeah, all the characters are cringe. The story is stupid. It makes everyone seem like a dumbass. They were roommates, and it's got a miserable ending, and basically destroys the franchise.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of things.
I own that game.
I have
not.
I'm so sorry.
Started it.
I'm so sorry. Try it. Enjoy Viola. She's cringe as fuck, and I hate her.
That game's just been sitting in the box.
I mean, that's like a third of my Steam library.
Here's Bayonetta's successor. She's terrible comic relief for the entire game and gets shit on and never accomplishes anything.
Wait, is that the Joker character, the Green Lady? I barely remember the advertisement for them, but
Viola, she's purple. And
okay.
she's got the Riot Girl aesthetic.
Yeah.
With the purple lipstick and the short hair with the purple highlights in it. And they tried. They really thought they were doing something. They weren't.
Did they try? It sounds like they didn't.
They tried. I don't know what they were trying, but they were trying.
Okay. Their efforts to try were counterintuitive, it sounds like. Well, not everyone could be a good writer, I guess.
Very. I liked those first two games.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I bought a Switch for the second game.
Oh wow, okay.
That was one of my major reasons for buying a Switch. Was hey, they have Bayonetta 1 and 2 as a package deal.
Yeah, good. I mean, I'd say it's a pretty big honor to be like a system seller. Like I bought a PS3 purely for Demon Souls.
Oh well.
Games sell systems. Hear my
Is
voice.
why Nintendo holds onto their exclusives with an iron fist, and why everyone else that has been selling consoles at a loss is kind of thinking, hey, PC gaming seems to be pretty good right now.
Yep. Aside from that, I went on a field trip. Ugh.
You did mention, and you didn't let the kids bring the Switches.
No.
Evil. Yeah.
We were going up to a state park. Learn about the Gold Rush.
Oh, okay.
my hearing my own voice sucks.
Yeah.
I'm just taking my headphones off.
It's California, right? So yeah, Gold Rush.
Yeah, so they learned about the Gold Rush, which involved a lot of activities like panning for gold and getting a little gold flakes if they were like doing a really good job with it.
Did you tell them the aphorism about pickaxes?
No.
What's that?
That if you want to get rich in a gold rush, you don't start panning for gold, you sell pickaxes.
Ah,
Oh yeah, no. We talked about how the shopkeepers made the most money.
yeah, makes
Oh,
sense.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
Good.
Cool.
I had most of my class there, and we had like 96 fourth graders there, and like 35 chaperone cars.
Jesus.
There's a whole caravan.
Ooh.
And the bridge that takes you into the state park was out, so we had to go the long way around up the thin and like winding path up along the mountains.
Oh, it's always fun and terrifying.
The one that has no guardrail.
Yeah,
Fun.
that is always fun and terrifying. I've been to the Alps. It's not great.
That was fun and terrifying, especially
Oh,
for
yeah.
the 35 cards filled with kids.
Hmm.
But it was a great time, and it was really nice. They got to do a lot of activities, and one of those was like making their own cornbread, which was really fun.
Ooh, that's fun.
We did a whole little like show, and there was some skits that were happening, and they got to do a whole hike up into the mountains. And I actually broke off from the group that I was with for a little bit and went and hiked up the mountains on my own, and then met them at the top like a final boss. And I was like, haha, surprise. Like, how'd you get here? It was great.
That
I
sounds
was
pretty
always
fun.
10 steps ahead of you. Actually, like 100, because, it's,
It's a mountain.
yeah.
It was an overnight trip too.
Mm.
Mm.
So it was 2 days, and the kids had a great time. They got to really bond with each other and like bond with the kids from other classes. We had some kids that stayed behind, but they got to do fun activities in their own sort of version of panning for gold, which was a little bit less impressive, but still fun for them.
I mean, as someone who grew up in a poor as fuck family who couldn't always afford the field trip, that's really lovely.
It was super nice. Everybody had a great time. Nobody got seriously injured. One person fell while they were hiking, and I was like right there with the first aid kit to patch him up. And then he's telling everybody afterwards, "He saved my life."
So you saved the class drama queen, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm like, you had a scratch on your elbow. And it's like, I almost fell off the mountain.
I almost died of scurvy.
I was going to say, you skinned your knee, dude. You're fine.
Yeah, he did. So, it was fine.
What you're saying is you saved a kid's life.
Yeah. Go me. Best part, though, only male teacher, which means I get my own cabin.
Oh, nice.
So, it was like a hotel room. Hearing my own voice again. It was like a hotel room set up with my own bathroom, my own shower. One of the few places that had hot water. I felt so privileged.
I suppose that is kind of a luxury in that kind of location, yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. I'm so goddamn porn brain because that was not where my mind went when you said I'm the only male teacher.
Yeah, anime has ruined me.
Yep, it's not great.
Degenerates.
I'm not going to deny that.
I mean, I've written scenarios like, yeah, I've written scenarios like that, haven't I? God damn it.
I was playing Final Fantasy 14 with one of my friends the other day, and he was just like, this is just like the Persona 3 social link, because I'm playing an MMO with a teacher right now.
Yeah, I guess that's true, isn't it?
Yeah. Replaying those games is weird.
Question, are they into dudes? Because that sounds like a come on if they are.
No, it was just a joke.
Okay. Just seems like a thing, because you know how that fucking social link ends. Like, come on.
You mean how it can end?
No, I mean how it ends.
It ends in the same way. It's awkward no matter what. I hear my voice. Ah!
Yeah.
Now I'm just imagining just you in that final scene, and it's just awkward and screaming and
Oh.
Hmm.
I don't want to imagine that.
Neither do I, but it's your fault. You brought it up. Fucking,
It is what it is.
why'd you do this? Can't
Anyway,
believe you've done.
was playing some Zenless Zone Zero. Got the new character.
That
Cool.
game's still neat. I wish there was more content.
Yeah, it's fun. And nothing else, really. I mean, after the field trip, I was just wiped. So, exhausted.
Say wiped or white?
Wiped. I was just wiped and exhausted and trying to drag myself through the week. And I'm trying to talk because, like, my headphones, whenever I put them on, I start to get immediate, like, whoa. Feedback loop brain explosion, and I can't finish my sentences.
This is what it's been like for me, by the way, for the past 10 years. Just want to let everyone know that, and I maintain perfect professionalism, except for those couple months where I didn't.
Yeah, but you're used to it, and you weren't professional at the start. So shut up. I would dare say you're not professional now.
60% of the time, I'm perfect 100% of the time.
Damn right. I'm going to be honest, this is so nice not having to hear my voice doing this.
Good for you.
There has to be a way to get around that. Like, why would you have to listen to yourself while you're recording every time?
There probably is a way around that, but this is literally the easiest way. It's just, hey, you already have all the programs, and it's just how you do it. It's fine. It does it.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's about as simple as it gets.
Couldn't I just...
Hey, here's an idea. No experimenting in the middle of recording.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
maybe
like
not.
the idea just occurred to me that I could set up a different audio channel in Audacity to probably just record my input as well and just have multiple channels of audio that just are layered onto each other, and that works.
That has another fun problem that is called desyncing audio. That means you have to go through in editing and fix it so it lines up properly.
Yeah, I think we did that at first.
I think
We tried to for a while, yes, and we did do that for the Flux tracks things. We all recorded audio separately, and everyone sent it to me. That was the worst possible time for the audio to desync on there because everything had to be timed properly. So, don't know how those turned out. Probably not great. I remember Kenshi was usually the one that completely desynced from everyone else.
Hmm.
As in by
And
like
me.
a good 6 seconds. And I had to fix it over and over again.
That's not a small amount.
It's not. 1 second makes it really weird. So you have to go through and find where it starts to drift and fix it, and then find where it starts to drift again and fix it. Yep. So that's why we record on one track.
How about
Makes sense.
I stop talking?
That's a plan, I suppose.
Horrible.
So, in direct opposition to that, anything else, Zero?
No.
Okay, so now we're on a podcast with Android 16. Cool. I'm alright with that. Birds.
Birds, indeed.
Birds.
So yeah, I could go next. Uh, so I've been reading Mashal, the manga about essentially Harry Potter, except he lifts and doesn't do magic.
And he
So,
also bling bang bang borns, or whatever the song is.
oh yeah, the season 2 opening music is apparently a gigantic meme in Japan, or at least it was for a while when my friends were there. They
It's
spent
great.
2 weeks into like
It was a moderate meme in the VTuber community as well.
yeah. Yeah, they went to some friends of mine went to Japan for 2 weeks as a honeymoon, like a delayed honeymoon because when they got married they couldn't afford it or whatever. And that song was fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was fun to listen to. But it's really fun. Like it's just dumb fun. Everyone has so much fun with it. It's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not really a whole lot of tension because like every fight the main character gets into is just he wins. It's One Punch Man. I mean,
Yeah. And we've kind of been missing One Punch Man since there was such a
yeah.
delay between season 2 and 3 because season 2 is not very good.
It's sad on that. But so yeah, it's quite good. I really enjoy it a lot. I'm like 120 chapters into it. It's like 168, 70, I think. And it's finished. And Zero was telling me before the podcast. Apparently it's a good ending. Like it's solid. So very down for that.
Mm.
It's just a very well written story.
Like a scared rabbit. Anyway, I've also Zero helped me remember the name of this one because I actually had partly blocked it out of memory. I checked out the tutorial dungeon is too hard, I think it is, or the tutorial level is too hard or something.
Yeah, tutorial tower, I think.
Yeah. So a guy gets sucked into a another universe from the real world and has to select his difficulty, easy, medium, hard, or hell. And he is a pro gamer, actually as his career, retired. But and so he's like, ah, I got this, and then selects hell, and it's rough, it's bad. He gets murder pulped quite a few times, uh, and so it's great until like I want to say like 20, 25 chapters in, He's on like floor 6 of 100, and suddenly the story skips forward like several years, and he's on floor 61, I think. And he's like, I didn't find this out until later, but like there's a chapter 0 where it's revealed that he's actually relaying this story to someone else as he's waiting for like the only other person to join Hell difficulty to get caught up with him. So he can do the floor 61 because that requires other people. Like it's mandatory to team up with other people. So he's alone and stuck. But if you just read the manga from chapter 1 like a normal person, it's really jarring to suddenly skip forward in the middle of what was a cliffhanger. He's stuck in a dungeon. It looks impossible, etc., etc.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah, and it's just not done well. Like the entire series reads like somebody who, as someone who probably has ADHD, someone who has ADHD. Like it just introduces concepts at random that don't piggyback off of anything that's in there so far. Like one
It's
of the
like they
things
got
that
bored.
happened. Yes, exactly. Like one of the things that's introduced right after the time skip, or whatever you want to call it, is suddenly the main character has a dragon egg, and he's just like nurturing a dragon egg. Like what? Where the fuck did this come from? He's not a. He has no skills that are applicable to monster taming. It's weird. So, yeah, I dropped that one because it's just too jarring and it was not entertaining enough to persist through that kind of twist. Me and the girlfriend have been we made a movie list of like any movie we vaguely wanted to see. And we've been rating them on a 1 to 10 scale, and it's been quite enjoyable. I think we're up to like 37 movies we've watched now, so that's been pretty
Ooh,
cool.
neat.
Surprisingly, a lot of like most of our scores are like 7.5 minimum. Turns out there's a lot of good
Ooh,
movies out there.
yeah. I mean,
We
well, you don't hear about the bad ones usually, so yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, there have been someone. I think we've skipped 3 movies that we've got like part of the way into and just been like, "You want to skip this one? I don't like it. I hate this." And I wish I could remember any of them off the top of my head, but I have already forcibly forgotten them. They're written down on a physical notebook at her place. So, because we've actually kept a little log of all the scores we've made. So,
That's fair. Yeah.
one of them was Joe Dirt. No, we'd actually wound up watching Joe Dirt 2 all the way through, even though it was just fucking garbage, which is upsetting to me because Joe Dirt 1 is one of my favorite movies.
I know absolutely nothing about Joe Dirt except for the what's his name character. Help me, the guy who talks weird.
Uh, Monster guy? Christopher Walken.
Uh, That's the yes, thank you. Christopher Walken, yes.
Yeah. Plays Claw.
I know his speech about the soldering iron. That's literally all I know about that movie.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, it's enjoyable. I want to say there was another sequel that was also just not equally as bad because Joe Dirt 2 was just a special kind of terrible. But another one that was similar, like the first one was fantastic. Then they did Benchwarmers 2. The
Mm.
first Benchwarmers was a fantastic inspirational movie, very fun, like anti-bullying kind of movie. And then the second one is just like they try to piggyback off the Benchwarmer name with no similarities, and it's just not earned at all. Like
Yeah.
me and my girlfriend both groaned audibly when the team named themselves the Benchwarmers 2, and I wish I was kidding.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
I just don't know.
Lame.
Because the main character is up against like an old boss who is a bully and he's just an asshole, and it's like it's kind of similar, I guess. But it's not good. So, but main takeaway, most movies are pretty great. If you just want to go on like a movie service site of your choice, and just make a list of any movie that seems vaguely interesting. Just want to kill a couple hours every night. It's a pretty great way to do it.
Hmm.
I also bought a bunch of games. I played Remnant 2 on the PS4 or PS5, I can't remember, but and really enjoyed it. So I grabbed it on Steam when it was on sale, and pretty rapidly got it back up to where I was before because it's just easier to play on the computer, and they've added a bunch of new stuff. Like there's these things called prisms. You can get like 8 of them, but they're horrendously expensive. Like I'm talking like 10 to 15 hours worth of playing to save up enough currency to get these things. You can upgrade your character in pretty powerful ways with them, so you can go into like New Game Plus and stand a chance. So that's pretty nice. And I got Supermarket Simulator, which is just dumb fun. Like it's just another simulator game.
Yeah.
It doesn't have as much like to do as Gas Station Simulator, so it's less fun, but it's a good way to kill like 20 minutes.
I'm not sure whether to recommend TCG Card Shop Simulator now, because they are very much the same game. It's just TCG has something worth, like, it's probably a hobby you latch onto. I'm not entirely sure, but it has some meat to it in that sense, whereas Supermarket Simulator is just a fucking supermarket. It's literally just a supermarket.
I wish I was into card games. I am terrible at building a deck. And it turns out I'm terrible at playing a deck game if somebody else builds me a deck and then explicitly explains what it does several times in a row, and I still don't get it.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
Funny enough, that feature is not in TCG yet. So.
Oh. But to actually play the game you're selling the cards for?
Yeah. That is a planned feature. It is early access. So.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the next logical step is once your shop is ran by NPCs, you can just play the game. But that, I got Metro Exodus, played through that. I must have gotten the bad ending when I played that before, because I didn't realize the main character, spoiler, survives in the good ending. I thought he died.
Oh.
And that was, because it's a Russian novel, and of course he does.
Yeah, Russian novels and fiction just tends to go that way.
Yeah.
Everything's bleak and miserable because everyone else is out to fuck you. That's just how it goes.
So yeah, that was actually fun. I enjoyed my playthrough of it. I mean, just played it on normal. I didn't super challenge myself, and I still wound up dying a bunch because there's a lot of insta-kill things in that game. But still, it was quite enjoyable. It's nice. On a similar note, nice transition. I actually got around to reading or listening to the audiobook of Roadside Picnic, which is the novel that the Stalker games came from.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm literally going to ask about Stalker 2, since you mentioned Metro.
Yeah. I've never really touched the Stalker games, and not for any period longer than 20 minutes. I think I picked up one of them, and it was just too awkward to play. But the Roadside Picnic is very Russian. Holy shit, is it Russian? It's not surprising. But and it also has barely anything to it. It's 7 hours long as an audiobook, so that's pretty short. Most audiobooks are 20 hours. And yeah, I don't know. It didn't really make me want to play the Stalker games. Well written and fun. It just had nothing. It followed the life of a stalker, and it was very compelling on that front. But there was not a lot of detail in a weird way that's hard to describe.
Mm-hmm. Zero. What kind of music? Zero.
Calming ambient.
Okay. Copywritten or not?
No.
Okay, that's good, because I was going to say that could be a problem.
Yeah. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed the music portion of the podcast. So it's trying something new, I guess. Apparently.
Sorry. Opened a tab and took me a minute to realize what was happening.
So
that's
remember all of those times after the past 10 years of me saying, hey, yeah, I can't open that because my audio is being recorded. Yeah. So
yeah.
Oh, we're scuffed.
It's fine.
Anyway, as you were saying about Roadside Picnic.
Yeah.
It's very Russian and miserable when everything sucks.
Yeah, so unsurprisingly, it's very grim and doesn't get better. I also listened to the Children of Time trilogy. I don't know if you guys have ever even heard of those.
No, not familiar.
Fair. So it takes place in a post-terraforming, but currently terraforming level society where Earth has discovered other habitable planets and is slowly turning them into things that we can live on. And we came onto the unfortunate realization of we are alone in the universe, at least as far as we can tell at that point, humanity does, and decides that's not okay. And so they develop a virus that speeds up the evolution of a species. And we're like, if there are no aliens, we're going to make aliens, goddammit.
Cool.
And which is cool, except there's a lot of people, there's a lot of human that decided they're going to be servant races. So that's less cool. And so they start with monkeys, or they plan to. So they make this virus. They put it in a Space Needle firing cannon kind of thing. And then right as they're about to fire it, people on Earth decide, no, we're not doing that. So civil war happens, and then some real bad stuff happens, and then suddenly there's not a lot of humans left in the galaxy. But the virus has been launched, and it lands on a planet, and the pod of monkeys accidentally burns up in atmosphere. So the virus lands on the planet, and the monkeys that it's intended for don't. Uh, and then we get to see a little spider in the trees, and suddenly it starts
Oh,
thinking a little different,
oh,
and making mental connections that shouldn't happen.
oh, oh.
So we skip forward a couple thousand years as this species slowly develops, and you get really intelligent spiders that are
Yay!
now the size of cars. Or well, actually no, that I had that backwards. Never mind. They get to like the size of dogs uh
Hmm.
when they fully develop and gain like their full size for their species. I think they eventually call them the portions or something. Um, and it's really, really good at world building. Like they did a fantastic job. I forget the author's name, but they did a fantastic job of setting the scene and developing this society in a way that would make sense for spiders. Like it's matriarchal. There's an intense amount of sexism against males because they're smaller and weaker and dumb and breeding and blah 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 blah. But like it's really good. Humans are still around, and the first, I want to say, third of the book is like you kind of rooting for them all to die, uh, because they're still assholes. But I'm not going to spoil any more than that. It does very compelling stuff. It's very good. Fully recommend it. The second book is takes place on a different society. I don't want to spoil it because it's also very good. Um, it Yeah, I'm not even going to spoil anything else because the second book is fantastic and you should go in blind. I didn't really like the third book as much, but it was also had a lot of really good world building to it. It was very fun. But yeah, so I recommend all three of those books. They're fantastic. The Children of Time series.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much me.
Zero, did you have anything else?
My head hurts trying to talk.
Oh boy. Okay. So
You got this, bro. You can do it.
so what have I been doing? I I finished Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Hell yeah.
My god, is that a stupid game?
Stupid in a fun way or like terrible?
Kind of both. It's it's like everyone knows, if they know anything about the Yakuza series, like a Dragon, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know one thing: the side stuff is goofy as fuck. The main story, they usually play it pretty straight. In the main story of Yakuza 2, Kiwami 2, whichever you want to call it, the same game, same story. Kiryu has to go to Osaka Castle for reasons that I have forgotten and were not particularly important. The little kid got kidnapped again. She does that a lot.
Of course.
So he goes to Osaka Castle, and when he gets there, the castle splits in half, like this ancient Japanese castle that is a massive historical landmark, splits in half and opens like the launch pad for a missile silo, and from beneath rises a second Osaka Castle made of gold.
That's God, I love it. That's so dumb.
So that was some goofy shit. Felt a little weird, but this is also the series that played straight that there is basically a hidden city with a coliseum underneath, the middle of Tokyo. The place that has earthquakes a lot, so it doesn't have a lot of underground stuff. And the whole other coliseum that is under a river that you take a boat to, and then the boat has an elevator in it somehow that takes you under the river. Yeah, it has some goofy shit, but okay, that's really fucking goofy, but okay, fine. I would like to point out, people think that the main plot of Yakuza tends to be pretty played straight. That does not mean it is not stupid as rocks. I think people on this podcast might be familiar with 4 and how that goes stupid. Are we?
I'm not. I really haven't touched the Yakuza game, shockingly.
Okay. Well, in 4, there is this whole thing with everyone's best friend Majima and his best friend Saijima, and they have this whole plan to assassinate this one Yakuza boss, head of a family, and they're going to do this hit, and they have 6 guns, and they're going to fucking kill everybody and the boss, and it's fine, and that's sorted. Majima doesn't show up, so Saijima, the badass, just decides, okay, I'm going to walk in there and kill everyone. And he does. Bang, 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 bang. There are like 15 dudes, puts them all down. It turns out that was a master plan by the second in command of that family. Second in command. He became the second in command of that family because this was all his plan to become the second in command of that family by setting up this hit, but the guns would be loaded with rubber bullets, which at the time were brand new, like anti-riot tactics for the Japanese police. So, in order to fake this hit, he put together like somewhat classified police tech to not get killed, so he could then kill everyone and then be like, "Hey, boss, I protected you and stuff, and it's all cool. Aren't I great? You should make me your number 2." They keep talking about this like it's some great master plan. Literally, the first person that looks at it says, "This is so much bullshit," and I can see right through it instantly. And the only reason it works is because that guy is also corrupt.
Ah. So he just has no reason to actually like stop.
Yeah, he's basically like, yeah, this is 100% bullshit, so I know you are actually just like a plant for the Yakuza guy that's showing me this. So, yeah, I want to meet your boss. So, yeah, that's Yakuza 4. It is very dumb. Yakuza 2, which is the one that I finished, has a it has a plot about the Korean mafia.
Okay.
Called the Jingwon. I forget what it means, but it's like death before dishonor kind of thing. And in the 80s, they all get wiped out, except for like a couple people, is the way that it's framed. Like one of them is a baby, and a couple of other people. That's fine. And so throughout this game, you are meeting all of these people that are secretly Korean and part of the Jingwon coming from mainland Korea. All were survivors of that raid. This starts with one of the characters you meet in Yakuza 1. Then there is the cop lady that you spend most of the game with in 2. There is the villain of the game that's on the box art. There are, I believe, 2 different police officers that rose up in the ranks of the Japanese police department, Tokyo Police Department, just specifically to set up a revenge plot years later. Another guy that pretends to be homeless but works for a secret cabal of information gatherers and such.
How classic.
Also, the at the end of the first game, you basically Kiryu basically says, "Hey, I am the new chairman, and as my first act as chairman, I am retiring and putting this guy in charge, who is a member of a different clan and is going to take over this one, so that the power struggles stop and we all get back to work." Basically. In the first 5 minutes of this game, that guy dies.
Okay.
In the last half hour of this game, he comes back and says, "I was Jingwon this entire time, and this was my master."
That's a choice.
And so this entire game is like a conga line of 50 different people going, "I was secretly part of the Jingwon." For the entire game,
Oh
it gets
man.
so ridiculous. And that is somehow, I cackled when I saw the end of how this game actually ends, because there is a bomb plot towards the end of the game, and like, okay, we've disarmed all the bombs, and then they're like, no, there was secretly one more because there was secretly another member of the Jingwon, because of course there was.
Of course.
So you go up to this construction project that Majima was working on for the entire game, but isn't actually that important. But they put a bomb there, so you go up and you're like, okay, we're gonna have to disarm this bomb. No, I'm confusing things because the game is stupid. You don't actually know about the bomb until you get there, because what's his name, box art guy, who plays basically no role in the entire game whatsoever. He is just there to say, "Hey, I want to fight you," and then he fights you and loses and cries like a bitch about it every single time. But you go up there and you see him, and stupid stuff happens with like 6 reveals of secret Jing1 members, and then they reveal, "Hey, there's a bomb because of that extra secret Jing1 member," and okay, that's cool. You have your boss fights, and then Kiryu and Police Lady are trapped on top of the building. They do not have time to get out. And I'm like, oh, that's a thing. How are they going to get out of this one? That's actually kind of a problem. Oh, look, there's a helicopter with all of the side characters. Oh, okay, that makes sense. They're just gonna pick up, the protagonist and get them out of there. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. So the helicopter flies up, gets real close to the building. One of the characters speaks into a megaphone and says, "Hey, Kiryu, there's a bomb there. You should probably get out of there." And then the helicopter flies out.
What the fuck? What?
Yeah, they just fuck off instantly. And there is a good 30 seconds to a minute of just this like tragic last moment, and I'm just thinking, this nice moment that they're having would have been a really nice moment for that helicopter to have picked them up.
It would. That feels like the play.
I was so dead certain that was how that was going to work out, that was what was going to happen, that when it didn't, it made for just such a perfect moment of comedy. It was like it was meant to satirize moments like that where the fucking side characters come in to save the day at the last second. It felt like it was meant to be a joke. And the fact that it wasn't only made it funnier. If anyone tells you that the Yakuza games deserve to be taken seriously on story terms when it comes to the main plot, don't believe them. Just don't. Like they try. They try. They don't succeed. Usually. Yakuza 0 still actually kind of works. Like, just Majima's entire story for Yakuza 0 really, really works. Credit to them on that one. Most of the time, no, not really. It is very silly a lot of the time. Unintentionally so. Which is a distinction you do have to make in this series.
Yeah. I mean, considering how many of those games they have, I mean, one of them being just too stupid is not that bad, I suppose.
And the second one, let's be real, like I said, it is the second one, and the story is unchanged from the original second one. So this is coming off of Yakuza 1. Kiryu spent 10 years in the joint kind of writing. So, that is what it is. Story writing was not quite so sophisticated back in the day. So I've kind of been uncertain whether I should even bother playing the remastered versions, because you've got 1 and 2 Kiwami. Those are the fully redone in new engine, all that stuff. But 3, 4, and 5 were all in the original engine and are just remastered. They're just like upscaled resolution wise. So it's like, do I want to play these when the gameplay is probably not the best, and it's not going to be great, and the story is still going to be kind of
Yeah, I can see the lack of motivation to continue.
Like I have heard terrible things about 5, so I don't know.
Did you get them like all in a big pack, or is it would you have to buy these games?
I just bought all of them on Steam as like, hey, here's the Yakuza collection, and it's just all of them.
Fair. Yeah, a lot of those collections for larger game series have gone for like 80% off. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm kind of
good.
I'm kind of stuck on, do I skip straight to 6, having a general idea of how the other 3 that I'm missing will go, and just see the end of Kiryu's vocal story, and then move on to the Like a Dragon games, 7 and 8, with Ichiban? Or do I just move on to Like a Dragon? It is the thing I'm unsure about at the moment.
I mean, I guess it kind of depends. Like, stick with it for a bit until you just get tired of it. Like, you never know. There might be some element of it that's compelling enough to keep you there.
Maybe.
I mean, it's probably just sunk cost fallacy talking, but I mean, may as well. We paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember my insistence that, hey, I'm gonna like full completionist this game, Yakuza 2, etc. That was a bad choice, and I regret even thinking I was going to do that, and I shouldn't have tried, because if completionist on these games is kind of it gets to be a grind fest. It gets to be a little bit monotonous and boring.
And that's kind of true of everything. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
you can get like 90% of achievements just fine, and then that last 10% is just the shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though. In two, there was a lot of side stuff that was really cool and fun. Like there's a lot of returning mini games that are neat to do. Like you've got the baseball thing, and you've got. I found myself strangely compelled by mahjong, and I actually know how to play it now.
Hmm.
Uh, yes, Zero. I know that there is mahjong in Final Fantasy 14. I'm aware. Thank you.
I've not played it. I don't know.
It uses the same system as Yakuza does. It uses the Ricci system, which is very convenient if you are only somewhat comfortable with the rules of mahjong. But yeah, like the main side activities of two were just a misery because they have the tower defense thing from six, which is, hey, you have to arrange your dudes and get them to fight in like certain places and stop enemies, and then you've got stuff to protect and tower defense stuff. It doesn't play very well. And then you've got like I feel like personally, I feel like tower defense stuff really works best when it's like on a grid and it's very rigid and contained, because when you have actual just like actors can move in whatever way they want to, that stuff gets really hard to control properly. Um,
Yeah.
and the other one is the hostess stuff from Yakuza Zero, which I liked in Yakuza Zero. It helped that I liked the characters in it in Yakuza Zero.
Yeah,
Uh,
that makes sense.
because the way that that works is you get these what are called platinum hostesses, and the way they work is, you know, you can use them and they are very very good at what they do, and you can make them even better by going on basically dates, kind of, where you have a conversation for a little bit, like say 8 minutes of an unskippable cutscene talking at the
Oh,
face of a girl who will very occasionally, as in 4 times, ask you a question wherein you can give a response,
that's
and you cannot
rough.
skip anything, and you cannot speed it up. And uh, the way I was playing, I didn't actually consider actually trying to finagle this, but the way I was playing, it does not have background play, so
Ah,
I couldn't just tab out and do something else until it got to the point where I could say something, which I really would have liked to do many times.
that's rough. That feels terrible.
It was not great, and it was required for the completion list. You do have to do it
Yeah.
because some of the side quests were locked behind doing all of those.
I mean, that was my major complaint with Metro was like nothing is skippable. Not you can't even like skip forward through dialogue. And
Mm,
yeah, it took a while to get through things, especially if I, died and had to do half a cutscene again.
yeah, there is a reason we stopped doing that as a species. I feel like anything seems grander if you say as a species.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so that made it feel like a mistake to do the full completion list, which is a
Mhm.
shame because I had a lot of fun doing it for Yakuza Zero. Of getting everything done, doing all the fucking pocket stock car bullshit and things. God, that was a weird thing. Yeah. So
What's a
I don't
pocket
know.
car?
It's that thing where you get the little car and you put it on a track and it will just go and run around the track,
Hmm.
and it's got like the barriers so it doesn't fall off, but if you push it too hard, it'll just fly off the track. Which is to say, if you push it at all, because that's usually how the physics works. It's
Yeah.
like electric powered and stuff. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's that.
Never heard of that as a minigame before. Okay. Well,
Yeah, that
points
was
for
a whole
knowing.
thing in Yakuza Zero and Kiwami One, where you find a uh, pocket circuit is what they call it. And there is an entire arena for it, and there is a very in-depth car customization system for it, wherein you need to customize your car to do the best it can on the track without flipping the fuck off.
That's
That,
wacky.
it it was great. I loved it so much because it's just fucking like 20-year-old Kiryu with all these little kids, and he's just doing his absolute fucking best to win these races.
I love that. I appreciate that they kept your competitors realistic. That's great.
It gets better because the way they did this in Kiwami 2, like I say, the host club game was in 0 as well, and they paid that off by, hey, the main girl in 2 is the girl who the first girl in 1, in 0 rather. So she is now like 20 years older and she's running the place. That's kind of cool. That's a nice
Okay.
callback.
Yeah.
For the pocket circuit stuff, there is this one dude running the place and who announces the races, and he is called, I think it's Pocket Fighter. And he dresses in this fucking loud racing costume like he's a fucking F1 driver. And he's like a 19-year-old kid. He's just, this is a part-time job. 20 years later in Yakuza 1, he's still working there. And he is still working for the same wage. He tried to get a promotion. It did not work out.
Oh,
And he's like, oh, my life is a shambles. And I kind of have to move home with my parents. So this is the end of my pocket circuit career. And the entire story of that in Yakuza 1 is just getting all the kids you knew back in the day to go back and like cheer him up because he's such a pathetic loser now.
it's so sad.
It's great. It's so good. And okay, everyone knows the Bakimitai thing with the karaoke where like Kiryu's just looking at this photograph forlornly. And it's like the photograph of the old orphanage that he grew up
Mhm.
at in 0. In Kiwami 1, it is a photograph of Fighter. It is a photograph of Pocket Fighter that he keeps, and he is so sad about now for some reason.
Incredible.
That's great.
Oh, there are a lot of things to love about the Yakuza series. When they hit, and that is why I have basically just talked myself into trying 3. Fuck it. If there is a chance, if there is a fraction of a chance that there is a gem like that in another one of these games, I will play them all. Fuck it.
I mean, I hope there is. That sounds wacky and fun.
I think Kiryu runs a baseball team in Yakuza 6.
I'm
I
not
think
surprised. That sounds like something that would fit. Yes.
I think that was a thing, yeah.
That sounds just stupid enough to be a genuine side activity.
Yeah, I've got to play 6. I'll try 3, but I've got to play 6. Now that I'm remembering what some of the side things are in 6. Like there is a fucking deep sea fishing thing where you dive underwater and have a boss fight with a giant squid. I need to see that. I need to play that. God,
Enjoy.
those games are fucking stupid in the best and worst ways.
Any other games you've been playing, or has it been that kind of hogged the
That
attention?
and the TCG thing,
Ah,
which is what it is.
Mhm.
It's neat. That's pretty much it.
fair.
I don't think anything else anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't played Etrian Odyssey in a while. I mean, to get back to that.
Mm.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. A 20-minute discussion of Yakuza and why it's stupid. Or Like a Dragon and why it's stupid. Pirate comes out next month.
You'll be there.
That series is dumb. That series is very dumb, and I love it. From a distance. That is actually one of those series that I don't think I would enjoy if I played it, but I enjoy hearing about it.
I mean, I don't know. Do you like fucking it's not the most deep character action games, but do you like character action games? Just like fucking punch people in the street. That is the majority of gameplay when you're not doing side stuff in the Yakuza series.
That's fair. I saw the combo list of one of the games that I was looking at and got scared away because I'm bad at fighting games.
It's really not that bad. Like you can get through 90% of the game by pressing XXX triangle.
Ah, gotcha.
That is actually how 90% of the combos works. It's just light attacks until you decide to use the heavy attack to finish the combo. That's it.
Okay, fair enough.
I do recommend it, warts and all, and there are some pretty big warts on occasion, but for the most part, it is just an excellent game series, and I do recommend starting at 0, the game 0, not ours.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in that sense, I do also recommend that 0 start at 0.
Okay.
You recovered, Zero? You got this?
Still try not to talk.
I'm trying to get past this.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get past this.
I can't. have to decide what I'm going to say and just take off the headphones and then just keep talking and then put them back on when I'm done talking. That's the only way this is going to work without me losing my mind.
Okay, fair enough. Go for it.
Okay, fucking baby. Yeah, fine. I can talk shit because I had to get used to this. Like I didn't have a
Yeah, of
choice.
course. Fair.
I have no intentions of getting used to this. I have
Yeah,
every intention
hopefully
of
by
making you get that cord back. And if you do not get that cord back by next recording, I will buy you a cord.
Buy it and express ship it to you.
I do kind of need a new microphone. In fairness, that's not a bad investment on my part. I'm still using a fucking Yeti Snowball from fucking 20 years ago or whatever.
Shocked yours survived. Mine died like last year. In fact, my
Mine
headset I replaced it with is falling apart now, so that sucks.
mine died and I got a new one. I just replaced it. I
Gotcha.
didn't want to fucking faff about with, hey, what's a really good microphone? Because that is a journey that is hours long at minimum. I didn't want to deal with it.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So Zero, pop this headset off. Let's see what you got to say.
About what?
Anything? I thought it was like you kind of wound yourself up like you're going to talk about something.
Listen, there's nothing to really talk about except for the fact that we are here and that we are recording and that we have been going on for nearly an hour and 20 minutes. And I spent the first 30 minutes talking about stuff like the field trip and everything. And the field trip was very fun. It was very great for all the kids to learn all that, though it was exhausting and it wiped me out for the rest of the week because it was exhausting and worrying and trying to organize all of that. Do you know that we had to bring all lunches for the first day and we had to organize who's in which car, who's in which cabin, make sure there's with some friends but not with the other friends because then there would be chaos. And then you're organizing all the different parent chaperones on top of that, where they go and what they do, making sure that nobody gets hurt and making sure, most importantly, that we don't get banned from the state park because we were on the brink of it last year, apparently.
Oh, fun. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yes.
The adult chaperones couldn't adult themselves.
Imagine for a second that you're a young parent and that you go on a field trip and you have no idea what to do.
I feel like the default minimum is take care of your own kid.
Yeah, but that's not what we're having you do most of the time.
That's fair. That would cause some.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk.
What-
I don't want to hear the voices.
How do you feel about the episode title, Zero?
It's good.
Yep.
Yeah, no, there was a D&D thing last night. They defeat these antagonists they were trying to defeat for years. Ugh, kill me.
Yeah, roll those S's. That's the solution.
I would just like to get everyone listening to this, just go back to the previous episode and just take a listen to that and see how fucking comfortable I am with doing exactly what Zero is doing right now with his freaking
Go back
out
to episode 1.
Please don't.
Go back to when...
Well, fairness, episode 1, we weren't doing this.
Yeah, we weren't doing this. When we started this, there was a few weeks where Casey was constantly complaining about this and having a bit of the same issue.
Good luck finding it. Same issue.
Kill me. This is terrible. Who would do this?
In hindsight, I am so glad I lost my microphone cable.
I can't believe Casey has done this to me.
Yeah, it's definitely his fault.
Yep, 100%.
Yep, I will take 100% blame for this.
I've only screwed up the podcast 5 times during this recording.
It's fine.
Zero, if you lose the audio for this, I swear.
Okay, deleting it now.
Okay, so we did the Patreon last time, so Zero doesn't have to worry about so it's cool. I think we can call that an episode.
I mean, we can do the Patreon again, right?
We could.
No.
I feel like it's important that we appreciate.
No, wait.
I think we're good, so I'll just do the outro of Discord link in the description, Patreon link in the description. Thanks everybody for listening, and Slicer, thanks for being with us for all these fucking stupid shit we've talked about over the past long time.
Not a problem. Thanks for inviting a random beta reader on. It's been a blast.
Oh, you weren't just a random, but you were my very special beta reader back in the day. Yeah.
True.
All right.
Have a good
Bye,
one, guys.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so you will want to hit File and then Export
carefully.